Caller. Well, that is your sister's personal
Choice.
decision and choice. And that's what we're all about, choice. If you choose to come to terms with the pregnancy, we support you. If you choose not to, we support you. That's her own personal decision, just like it was mine when I had my procedure, and it was Brittany when she had hers. No one else can decide that for her. And that made me think about how when I went to have one, and I went to a center, and the lady, I didn't even know her, and she told me that if I came to term with my pregnancy, that she would help me out. But how do you know this? People say things all the time and they never keep their word. So I just want to say, on that note, I just want to say it's her own personal choice.
And I think we have another caller, Nicole.
Go ahead, caller.
Yes, how you doing?
Hello.
Hi.
All right. I want to ask a question. I'm going to be very intelligent with my questions and comments, but I just want you to listen to me. And I want to ask a question. How the one in the yellow? How old are you?
I'm 23.
You're 23. And the other young lady, how old is she?
The same age. What?
Adult?
Yes, we're both adults.
We're gonna be respectful to each other, and you have a right to make your own decision. But I just
and so
we're adults, and we're pro-choice.
Getting back to Jane Roe. I think that Jane Roe is a very intelligent lady. I don't know what made her decide to switch her opinion on these things, but like I was saying before, it could be very devastating if she gets this overturned. But we're going to get into another woman that few people know about, that we think is very important.
And before we get off into Miss Sarah Barton, we do have another caller. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
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 Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I just want to tell you that I think you're very brave,
Thank you.
Thank you.
because most people would really disagree with you at your age.
Okay, now you're fading out. Could you speak up a little bit more?
Okay, I think you're very brave, and keep up the good work.
Thank
Oh,
you.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
I love you.
Thank you. So once again, we're going to flash our overhead. If you want to support us or you have any questions or anything, here's how you get in contact with us. So, Sarah Barton, she was a young African American woman during the slave period, and she was very voluptuous, curvy, as most African American women were. And she went to Europe. She followed this doctor to Europe because he told her that he was going to make her rich and, basically filled her head up with a story about how he was going to lead her to a better life. And she was taken advantage of. He took her to Europe, and her body was put on display for scientists and just, other people to just look at and,
Ridicule, basically.
Yes. Took the words right out of my mouth.
I do believe we have another caller.
Go ahead, caller.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay.
All
We
right.
did it. Okay. Back to Sarah Bartman. While she was over in Europe, her body was put on display, and she was actually caged, and it was considered the Hottentot Venus freak show. Everyone just treated her like a freak because she had a large butt, large breasts, large genitals. When everyone in Europe was tired of looking at the freak show of Sarah Baartman, they basically, she was forced into prostitution. She couldn't get back home. She had no money. So that resulted in alcoholism, prostitution. She died around in 1815 from possibly syphilis. And after she died, a scientist plastered her body in a full cast and then removed her skeleton and then cut off her breasts, cut off her butt, everything, and put that in jars and had it on display in a museum for over 160 years after she was dead and gone. It didn't get taken off display until around 1974, and she was finally laid to rest in January of 2002. We wanted to talk about her because in today's society it is glorified to have like this huge butt and sex sales, and you know, we are just treated like
sexual objects.
Yes, exactly. And a lot of people don't know about this story. I just found out about her and her story, but it really hits home because that's all you see in all the videos, the video vixens, and just black women. And the black men don't make it any better because they're the ones who telling us, sure, I'm going to put you up in this nice house, in this nice car, and all because you have a huge rear end. What are your thoughts about that, Nicole?
Well, I just wanted to touch on that. I wanted to mention how they had her dancing around naked in a circus. And so by them having her do that, you know, when I learned this information, it was very disturbing to me. And women in general, we just have been misused by our bodies for a long time. There's always someone trying to tell us what to do with our bodies, when to do it, trying to manipulate us into this, you know, sexual being. But we are, you know, humans are sexual beings, but you know, it's a classy way to display it and it's a trashy way to display it. But my point is that by bringing up Sarah Baartman, a lot of times, you know, we are deceived and put on display for what, you know, other people see us as. And that's not always the true story behind, like, you know, like Brittany pointed out that, you know, a lot of times men want to glorify a huge butt or, you know, full breast or, you know, whatever. But you know, she wasn't put to peace until 2002. This went on for 160 years. So for 160 years they degraded this black woman
from beyond the grave.
And you know, no one ever really talks about her. Like when I looked her up, that was the first time I was ever